Good morning everyone, 3rd of October here in Les Abdelone, and things are happening. But before we get into the fleet, I just want to do just a bit of an overview on the weather in total in terms of South Atlantic and where they've come from. You can see here, well, first of all, there's our fleet, little on the screen at the moment, but just want to show you again how the doldrums have really squeezed up here. The southeasterly trades here in the South Atlantic are really strong. This is the equator through there. It's really pushing a long way north now, so that's pretty cool. And the the northeasterly trades up the top here had been strengthening and squashed this whole zone here. So the definition of the doldrums is really quite small. It's a good way to be if you want to get across. The other interesting part here is that part of the reason the southeasterly trades down here are so strong is because you can see what becomes known as the South Atlantic High is starting to form up, and it's quite low at the moment. So that's the top end of the high. The air is rushing around this pressure system in a anti-clockwise direction, and this will be the next challenge. So you can see technically this is the rum line coming down. Trinidad Island is here. They've got to leave that to port when they come around, and then the course heads straight across to Cape Town. But of course, if they were doing that right now, that when they come across, they're going to get, well, not sort of headwinds. They could actually sail this, but if it comes up a little bit more or does different things, the position of this South Atlantic High will determine exactly what the guys are going to do, and girls. They want to go around the bottom side if they can, because then they're going to get a hook up to Cape Town. So it's quite normal. Hopefully this will be up around here somewhere, and when they get around Trinidad, they'll know where the centre is. If they're coming and sailing in towards the centre, the wind's going to drop off, right? So if they start to get decreasing wind and the wind coming around from the northeast, they know they're heading to the centre. If they're running with northerly winds, they know they're running around the back edge, and then eventually they can turn across here and come up to Cape Town. So that's sort of the next big challenge for weather. Sailing down in the trades is going to be pretty simple for them. It'll just be a blast once they all establish and they're in that airflow. But for the moment, they're not quite there. So we'll come up to this. I'll show you about playing the live or the replay on this. There's a video replay on this whole tracker that I just realised some people might not even know, because I use it every now and then just for fun, see what's happening. So here's the fleet now. We've got a split of about 600 miles from our Nord down to Simon. You can see now this lead pack here is actually established in the trades airflow, but of course it hooks up to the north and then goes around to the southwest. It hooks up to the south at the top of it, and then southwest if you're in this area, and then once they get further down it'll come across to the southeast. But Simon's already tacked, so's Pat and Kirsten. Now they'll stay on port tack now, and they'll all be assuming they can keep coming across here, and as they get further across they'll hook down on the rum line. Tapio's still on starboard tack, right, because he's up a bit higher, but again when he gets lower you'll see him tack across. So so Simon's doing 4.8 knots. This wind is probably 20-25 knots. Pat's doing 3.1 knots. Again, he might be holding higher. So the higher the boat points into the wind, the slower it's going to go. Simon's maybe a little bit less off, and his wind direction is a little bit different here than it is up there. If you look closely, if I blow this up again, you can see how relevant the wind change is as you go further south. So here there's a little bit of west in it. It's probably south-southwest for Pat, but down here, so Simon, it's south. Okay, and as they get further down, it becomes a south-southeasterly wind, and that's what they want, because they can then hold the course. So there's still a bit of juggling going on here. Even when I looked across before, Bernard Matessia did tack. He tacked on the weekend. You can see over here, boom, he's come across exactly the same situation, so he would have been in the trades again at the same time. Abelish, when we look over there, 4.5 knots. He's still on starboard tack, because his wind has definitely got it's not quite southwest, but it's got a bit of west in it. So it's going to be interesting, because he's on the edge of this, and it's not going to change anytime soon. If he keeps coming down here, then he'll ride that down, but nothing wrong with that side of the course, and then eventually he's going to have to tack across. Ayrton doing okay, 3.6. He's still moving. There's definitely it's hooked right around there. There's a bit of west in it, so he's able to come straight down. So because the wind's lighter there, he'll be pointing higher as well. Guy, 4.2. I'm not sure what he's doing there, but he's right on this edge of the trough of very low wind, and he might be getting wind that's a little bit different than what we're seeing here. It's a little bit hard to predict that. So Damien's come rocketing down, giving Captain Goog a run for his money, sailing side by side, but they're only doing 3-2. They'll have definitely light winds. Jeremy's come across 4.5. He's doing okay. And Ian Herbert Jones did actually pretty well last night. He's making 6 knots now, so he's probably reaching. He's got a blast there, and he's made he made 120 miles or so. I forget what it was last night. So in fact, I can cheat here and tell you on the leaderboard. So leaderboard's got Simon in the lead, and then Pat and Kirsten only separated on the leaderboard by 10 miles. Okay, so not a lot in it. Kirsten's been making ground. Tapio's back of that. They're making 75 miles a day. Ian Herbert Jones, 130 miles. So he's the longest day's run in the last 24 hours for sure. He did pretty well on that one. So everyone's looking pretty good. Nord just coming alongside the Verdes and doing 4.4. So everything looks kind of interesting to watch. You got the fleet over here to the east. This is the lead pack. They're going to get a break for sure, because if we look at, let's just pull the weather forward. We'll go forward a day. Okay, here's a day. It moves a little bit. It'll go over the top of them. So this wind's coming up to meet them, and they'll be sailing slowly, I think, through this area of instability here. And as I say, it's hard to predict this lot in here, but so Damien and Jeremy and Captain Goog will be into it. Then Ian's going to get bogged down in this calms. This is the first one. These guys, there's not a lot happening out here. They're on the edge of it. So Guy might do okay because he's heading over to the west. There's no doubt right now that the wind is on the west. Urton will keep coming down here. He'll have the similar weather, and it'll be interesting to see what Abelish does. Elliot's lucking out, doing 3.2 at the moment, and it's going to get quieter, but he'll move a bit in the next 24 hours. Nord's okay, so that's 24 hours through. We go through now another day through to the 4th, and you're seeing this bridge that we talked about before, where the southeasterly trades are pushing through the doldrums and hooking up and then blasting around. So this fleet here is going to have headwinds. It's very clear. 2 days out, they've still got strong headwinds, so they're going to be working hard to get down. Whereas these guys here, they're going to be further down. You can see they'll be down here somewhere, and they're in the southeasterlies. Whereas these guys are going to get hooked up first of all in the light winds, and then as they come down, headwinds, so they're going to slow. So you're going to see once again a split between these two. There's no doubt in my mind. My personal opinion, is that this lead pack will create a gap. So we can look at it now. If we pick an average gap between there and there, okay, so it's 250 miles. I think you'll see that strengthen. That'll increase to 300 or 350 in the next few days. Because it's always the way. The first ones into the trades, they'll open up the gap again, so it'll be an extension. Anyway, we'll get rid of that, and we'll go forward another day just for the fun of it. Then it starts to lighten off, but everyone will be moving around a bit. Now, anyway, so that's pretty much the end of the forecast, or the end of the tracker update. But I just want to show you the live video replay that some of you might not know exists even. I said this in the tutorial. To get to that, you go to the bottom of the screen, right hand here. You remember this is where you get your weather gradients and sea state gradients based on the colour. But these little numbers here, this little slide, is actually to get a video replay. So if we just leave that there, I'll increase I'll make it a little bit bigger. Whoops, get rid of that. I'm going to come up here just so you can see the movement of the boats. Okay, so we're on there. Now I'll come down here to the video replay. So this gauge on the top is the speed at which you want to do the replay. Okay, so if you put it down to there, nothing's going to happen, because you can go backwards as well as forward. So that's negative, right? I won't be there yet, but that clicked over as if we're going to play. So bring it up here, so we'll go forwards at a speed that's reasonable. Then when you want to replay it, okay, all you do is, first of all, you've got to slide them back, right? So see, I'm backing them up here. So that's where you want to start from. Okay, so we'll put it here. You know the colour of the boat, so you can see you can pick two. let's go for Goog and Damien. Well, just watch Goog and Damien and you'll see how they catch up. So when you're ready to play, you just hit that. Now you see there's video instant replay. Oh, and Damien's bearing down the back straight, and Goog's still firing away, and blah 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 blah. But you can watch all the boats, and you can see when they all tack and when they do things. And if you want to speed it up, this is the speed. Remember, see they're sped up now. So there's Damien, there's Captain Goog. Captain Goog's losing out. He's going to the west. Damien's going south. Here we go. Ooh, he's tailing him. He's just about to take over. There he goes. Boom, boom. So you can have a lot of fun with this stuff. And as I say, if you not that you want to go backwards, but you can put it down here, and if you want to back up, that's now negative. So now if I hit this, I got to, oh no, hang on a sec, that slows it down. No, that's not going to work. Okay, forget that. Just keep it going forward, it's more fun. Okay, so you just slide that up there, and as I say, you can do everything in instant replay, and it's quite interesting. You can do this all the way back to the start, right back at Les Sables d'Olonne. So get used to that, because you can see how all the boats are performing relatively, okay, as they go right up. And when the wind comes back, we're actually there. You can see every little tack. Of course, you can enlarge this the same as you zoom in on anything, and you can see how boats are doing compared to each other, and bingo. So have some fun with that. All right, thanks for that, and we'll see